There you go.
Okay, should I just start with that, perhaps?
Yeah, you just go. I'll go ahead and share your screen.
Okay. So I made this folder where I have tried to go through the folder on Foundry and mark out some repeating patterns around Starforts concerning their technological capabilities. And I have tried, to catalog a different, all sorts of different angles we can, discuss the tech angle from. So electric forts. So here we see a fort that is doing illumination. And I don't think a lot of the star forts around there were like this one. I think this is a unique fort. They don't seem to be like the most common. I could be wrong. Maybe they all were able to do this. I don't know. That would be cool. But what do you think, Mike?
These look like actual walls, while a lot of forts, like you said, had earthworks. As in, it was just heaps of earth shaped very precisely.
No, yeah. Also notice quickly this dude looks pretty giant.
Yes, he does.
And that I have found lots of subtle in pictures, like paintings and drawings and whatnot, where they just get either the proportions wrong or there are a lot of giants. And I'm going to be talking with Philip about that later. So yeah, just keep an eye on the details when you see like the old stamps and with people in them, especially when there are a lot of them. They are not always kids. So this is also, I think, an electrical component to Starfortage. And this would be a mercury ball, and I have a lot of drawings where these balls light up and cast illumination in 360 directions. So that is what I'm comparing it with, and I think this would be what would be illuminated sometimes on these, because we see these what could we call them, small finial type towers along the Starfort sometimes. So I think some of them were like these mercury ball illumination technology.
I have an idea on that.
Yeah, Nathan, go ahead, please.
Well, I figured out how to boil stone and steel and how to make obsidian with the sun. And it's a Fresnel lens. It's the Archimedes shield idea.
So yeah, here you can see the original drawing for that picture. And okay, so new category. This is what I would see as a Starfort gas explosion.
Wow. That is good evidence for something going very much haywire. You've seen that picture I've shared of the corrugated horn city Ochakiv in the Ukraine?
Yeah, the giant wave resonator.
And then the old city in the Ukraine that has a similar drawing going on of explosions in the middle of the fort. It's funny.
Okay, but just pay attention to this theme, Mike, because I think I have some repetitions of it. See here.
Oh, yeah.
There's not war going on, and you have like this huge mortar ball being thrown out, showing you that, and yet you have this huge steam or gas ignition. What would that be? Is that like some force to send up like an even bigger mortar to throw it like even further?
Are they just releasing a massive amount of energy to hurl that thing over a massive distance?
But in this picture, it seems as if the mortar is being, it has another origin point or source point.
It does look that.
Yeah, but just keep an eye out for this theme, because here you see it as well. Here it seems as if something is malfunctioning, and the gas or steam is coming through. and breaking the fort apart.
Hmm.
So is this gas or is it steam? What kind of pressurized form of gas is this, I wonder? And how powerful is it to break through stone?
Well,
I don't get it. Or is it like they're doing underground battles, and this is like when it explodes underground? I doubt that.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a little conundrum for perhaps also the audience to ponder. But here again, see guys.
Yeah, it doesn't look it.
This looks intentional.
Yeah.
So what is it?
That's what a lot of the images.
That's my question in a lot of when I see images for the most. What is it? That's the most basic question I repeat. What are we looking at? And it's frustrating, I know, but yeah, hoping to get some other perspectives on this, because what I see is a steam or a gas explosion or similar. So yeah, and I also sometimes wonder what these barrels are exactly. Maybe gunpowder storage. I don't know. But I see them a lot. Oh, and this is okay. So these are the hard bastions.
Yeah, they're cool.
And it's just the shape I wanted to mark out, because they are also seen a lot, and the whole narrative with the military angles kind of like becomes even further complicated around these heart-shaped forts. Like, so you decided on one shape and it was very good, and then some other guy came along and said, "No, this shape is better."
Yeah, this shape is better. We want to make it all pretty hard.
Well, we've been arguing about shapes for as long as we've had them.
Yeah. But for the military argument, this just complicates it even further. So yeah, I'm hoping that we don't get like our adversaries are like, no, Starforts are only for military, because clearly they are not.
No, just look at Amsterdam.
Yeah,
the entire city is surrounded by a wall except for the seaside.
Yeah, it's crazy. And more hard bastions, they're not that interesting in and of themselves, but I just wanted to get it out there. There are a lot of them. Also, look at this, how intricate they are, and how much of the fort is actually hidden within tunnels and all sorts of small sections. We'll see that later. A lot of autographic views. These are just hard bastions. Okay, so these is what I thought was a mining operation, because this looks like a city fort, and then there's a shaft into the mountain, it seems, and this is an underground fort nearly. Are you following me? It doesn't seem to be mounted on the mountain.
Yeah, it looks like it's underground. I'm heading to that city on.
Yeah, and I just wonder if this mountain then is a mud flood, and this fort originally were,
it's a mine now.
Buried.
Well, they do show the blueprints whenever they find ruins in architecture, so it actually could be something they dug up back then.
It's a mine.
It could be excavated also. Yes, it's hard to tell from this, but I just thought that this shaft and how it is completely straight up a mountain indicates to me that this is like inside the mountain, but I don't know what the hell this is though. That seems like a redoubt. So yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there. Maybe somebody can solve that. I don't know. These are the orthographic views, and so yeah, you can see how these. I'm thinking about the stacking principle a lot when I see this, and the nesting and but I'm not quite sure what exactly went on here. It's a little weird.
I mean, those tines that stick toward the inside look, if they're not for stabling or for quarters, it looks like a heat sink.
But yeah, the most common conception is that each of these rooms contained a cannon, and then there would be a hole, and then you could, shoot. But it's not always the case. If I have noticed.
If they contained a cannon, then we would see a hole in the outer wall.
You sometimes get that, but sometimes you don't. So I don't buy it either. Okay, look at this. In this orthographic view, it states something to the effect of Galerie de Communication. Now, what would that imply?
Nice.
Also here.
Oh, that is nice.
It's a little something to ponder. Communication means, energy is being transferred between one part to another, maybe back and forth. That's communication. It's like it's just a transfer. So what is being transferred?
This could actually be a resting house for messengers, or a stable for the messenger's horses, anything like that. When you send out a communique, so.
But it also says gallery. What does that imply?
I found that drawing of Kern you showed earlier. It is a castle on top of a hill.
Which one? Sorry.
Kern, the one with the mining.
Oh, Kern
mentioned.
Oh, okay. So it is on top.
Yeah, it is on top of a hill. It is a castle.
Okay. Thank you for looking that up. Awesome. Live research. Also, look at this one. Wow. Look at how it's wavy and it's still have these patterns, and it just seems a lot of technasma and sound-based tech is going on. I don't know. It just
energy diffraction.
I think I'm ready to show you now.
Are you ready to show?
You remember the lens?
Oh, okay. So these are also the red brick forts I have found. These are distinctly red bricked. See?
Very nice.
Yeah. So that's also a theme I would like people to watch. And round forts. That I have a lot of round forts. Round forts.
Picture.
You've seen them.
Can you go back a couple of minutes?
Oh, sorry.
It's a drawing. I think it's the last. Yeah, that one. I need that one. That's people.
It is in the foundry, but I can go find it for you quickly. So, do you want that one?
That one shows people digging a starfort out of the bedrock.
Yeah, and I also have a category for starfort construction. But you're right. They're digging it out, or what? What are they doing, Mike? What do you see?
Well, that's why it looks like they're digging it out or working it out of the bedrock. If you don't want to use the term digging.
Oh yeah, working it out. Okay, so they're transforming the bedrock into this.
Into the bastion point.
They're sculpting sheer unclimbable walls for the entrance, and that's water all around the front, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'll send you this pic, Mike.
Yeah.
You can ponder that. But the round forts, we've all seen those. Okay, look at this one though. How big is this one? but it's a caricature, but it's still a fort.
I love that they need a fence around it still.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of things going on, and there's a lot of it's the war between the French and the British, and there's a lot of war memes going on in that time. it's funny to see Gallica stamps at that time because there's a lot of hidden messages in those. So yeah, more round forts, some of the same. Oh yeah, look at these large round forts, possibly rotating some of them. But yeah, also here, and these is from the Ardennes. This is like a painting, and there are giants in this painting as well. This is just like a snapshot of it. But here you see like for the cannons with the rotating forts, and you remember my question, like what would be the why would it be necessary to rotate this structure if you have cannon holes covering every angle? That's my question.
Yeah, I don't
get
think that one would have that function.
No, maybe not. But still, you saw that on the rotating fort I showed, there were cannon holes like this, and it said that it could rotate, and it was used for war. So the logical conclusion is that it could rotate, you know, to cover angles, perhaps, or maybe that's just one logical deduction you can put forward. But still, I don't get why that would be necessary if you have holes covering every angle. That's just my point. But yeah, I digress.
No, understandable. That bears some thought.
Yeah, food for thought. More round forts, and we've seen these before. Round forts, a lot of them. This looks like Litskalnin's wheel.
Oh, there's a prison structure in Brutalist architecture that looks identical for this. You've just reminded me of a prison structure. I'll have to find it and show you at some point. But it looks
that
just
sounds interesting. But yeah, sometimes maybe these are like these structures were repurposed as prisons today, and then they claim they are modern buildings because they look very modern-like. So keep an eye out for that. Look at this. It's just crazy. Okay, imagine the size of a human. Okay, that would be. I imagine that to be very antish compared to this.
That is insane.
Yeah, it's a large structure. Just look at this. Whoops. All windy. But yeah, I have shown these before. People have seen them. Many have. They're cool. And yeah, they invoke the idea of rotating forts. But yeah, I found a rotating fort. This must be one of them.
Oh yeah.
This is in Kronstadt. I think Ukraine. I'm not sure.
Oh, that's St. Petersburg. Kronstadt.
Oh, okay. Okay, sorry for my ignorance. But so I learned something new. Great. This is, I think, a rotating fort. It looks exactly like the ones we saw on the other page. So again, look at all the these for cannons, huh? It's just weird, man. I don't get it. And also, all these water forts are interesting. There's a lot of water fortification activity going on here. It's cool.
Kronstadt is the proof that you can defend the citadel from air attacks. Because it was heavily bombarded in the Second World War, and everyone living in Kronstadt out of the Germans trying to. That thing was.
Oh yeah, so these are also, I think, the same. Yeah. Also, look at this like spider whip.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Imagine this the waveguide amplifier now in this setting. Just going out in all 360 directions. Amplification in all direction, it seems. Woo. It looks like a step pyramid also going up, or you can play a lot around with this image. It's just, like geometry. It's just it can be 2 and 3 and 4 dimensional when you play around with it in your mind. But yeah, some construction I would like for you to see make sense out of. So what is going on here? What are these pillars? This is wood, and this is stone, and this is a polygonal stone. So what the heck? Yeah, I know we're bringing a lot of questions forward, but Starforts are freaking mysterious.
They tie into everything.
We don't know anything about them nearly. So yeah, I'm just putting forward some questions forward. What are these?
They tie into almost everything, every building or structure we research besides them. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I was talking to the guys on starforts.org on Sunday, and when I mentioned the water towers and the rotating forts, they were, we have been looking at the round castles, wondering what they were. Now you guys bring up this rotating fort. They were pretty impressed with our thought processing.
Oh. Well, it would be awesome to have them come on Discord and chat with us.
Fenton, the other guy, he's been pondering coming into the Discord.
Okay, that's cool. Let's see this mic. This one, it looks like digging it out. Dig it, or what?
Oh, they're digging it out. Yeah.
Or is it mud flooded and then they're digging it out?
Oh, that's possible.
That could also be possible, right? Because it looks very, muddy.
And then dug out again.
Yeah, and it also looks like the inner city has taken some damage, or I could be wrong. But yeah, it's a theme. But also here you can see more clearly Starfort construction, or what is supposedly Starfort construction. And it's a little weird, I think, because you have an area that is bricked, and then it's just like a brick wall, and then within you have
mud,
dirt, and it seems like you only have like a layer of brick and then dirt, and I don't. So maybe there might be some dirty dirt layers within the walls. I don't know, but it seems like they encase that still, and then put some stone on top of that in a later stage.
It's almost like they ordered someone to just make up a drawing of Starfort construction, right?
yeah, it could be just entirely imaginative. Like we don't know how they built them, so just go and draw something up. But still, like look at these terraces.
We have to give these questioning idiots something to look at. Look, they have a military purpose. Here you go, guys. They have a military purpose. Very important.
And here again with the polygonal stone as the base, then you have dirt, and then you encase that dirt in bricks. And then those bricks become smaller bricks here. Like, yeah. And then you start apparently with wood somehow. So, yeah. I don't know about that.
I don't know about all that.
I don't. It's just look. Is this like hydraulic presses?
Oh yeah, that's
yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that is an old method for hammering stakes. We do it pneumatically now.
Yep.
So why do we need a layer of stakes here?
Because mud. To prevent the fort from.
Are we like grounding the fort to the earth?
They're anchoring the earth so that it won't shift at any point, and then whatever you build on top of those stakes can be anchored to those stakes. And they're huge.
Sorry guys, I gotta run out for just a second. Just keep on talking.
This is called a Panopticon. Have you heard of it?
Oh yeah, you showed me before.
Oh.
Let's look at it with fresh eyes. This is a Panopticon. They have many features. They were found before they were built. And they have always been attributed to prisons, and you have a select few people who believe that they were for something else before.
Oh shit.
But people have equated the Panopticon with today's world.
Well, they would tie into a lot of these big round forts that Victor has been showing before.
Yes.
Oh, you're looking at the Nathan screen. I was a little bit confused, sorry. Okay, so can you refresh me on what that is?
Star-shaped forts are round, but this is also round. And the focal point is the center, but everything is a surrounding gallery on every level.
Oh, okay.
But it's stated 1854 to 1897.
Wow. It reminds me of what Martin posted about the nilometer yesterday. If you've seen that, guys.
I haven't.
It's concerning his the greatest secret never told, part 10, wherein he discusses the Colosseum and the amphitheaters being water towers, and the Panopticon looked like the nilometer, which is basically a high water tower used in antiquity to make certain predictions about catastrophes, using the level of water as indication of certain things. I didn't quite understand it. I need to go back and watch it. But yeah, I just wanted to put it out there. That's the Tower of Babel.
Yes, once again it pops up. So there's many versions of the Panopticon, but let's see if this picture works this time. Nope. When we look at brutalist architecture, we find these Panopticon prisons everywhere. And it's
okay, so they are within the middle of the prison structure.
Let's find a picture of a simple one. Here is the building. Here's the cross section.
Oh yeah, right.
And then
they look exactly like the round forts I just recently showed.
Yeah,
which is, and these photos show that they have many purposes, but they also look like a carousel or a gallery where the center is the viewing point. Let's find out.
It's a funny word, Panopticon.
Can you read that?
Yeah, I'm going to Edimon line right now to get a grasp on it. Maybe see if I have some ideas about it, because that root in Pan is very interesting. Panoptic.
Un angelo a Babylona.
Lena, I can hear you.
So,
Panopticons.
It means sight for all, or the all-seeing.
Here we are.
So yeah, Pan, of course, as in pantheism, but it's a very interesting root to have it in Pan and optics.
Here's another old one. Now, this one here.
Hello.
Why does Foucault come up when you search for the Panopticon? That's weird.
Right? There have been multiple novels. This keeps popping up, and
artist unknown. That's interesting. whenever you get an unknown artist, you gotta have a watchful eye. I've noticed that in the Gallica, you get a lot of unknown paintings and drawings and stuff. They're usually very interesting. Recently, also just casually browsed the photos section.
See me, but I can't.
Oh, look at that! Inner structures have this illumination power.
Yeah.
So now you can illuminate on the the prisoners.
Hello.
Hey.
Oh, now we have a feedback, so now you must hear us.
Can you hear me? I can hear you.
Okay. Archimedes and the burning mirror. You guys know the story of Archimedes and his shields?
The Greek fire.
Vaguely.
Invaders came. There was battle. You see this photo? Archimedes had his men shine polished, highly polished shields and set these ships afire.
Yeah.
And this is just support for the technology that we have today called a solar tower.
Yeah. There you go.
You guys are familiar with these?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually not. I feel as if I should be.
Actually, Spain has more than any other country in the world, so you're not far from them. So when you reflect the sun, you reflect the sun's light completely. That's why you can blind someone with a strong mirror, just a highly polished mirror. Imagine if you had 1,000. Imagine if you had 5,000. That is 5,000 suns. And just like a magnifying glass, when you get that focal distance just right, you can change that reflection to a pinprick, concentrate it, and actually burn things. What they're using here is an array of mirrors to channel the sun's light for solar harvesting.
Wow.
They power a lot of the world this way, more than we think. More than we think we know when we first learn. They've tried different versions of it. This is the version that you will see out in Las Vegas.
That one.
And now these will change their array to focus on the sun and keep that solar tower illuminated with the most possible sunlight.
Yeah, I get that.
You can be 10 miles away from this, and you can't look directly at these solar towers. They're blinding. They're outside of Las Vegas for anyone on the West Coast. They're all over Spain. They're all over Europe. You may be within travel distance if you want to visit one. It doesn't even matter if the sun is behind clouds.
Wow. That's so interesting. Why haven't I ever heard about these before? I write articles for tech paper, so I should know about this.
This technology is years old, and here's a great image of it. The technology is years old, and we use it to great extent, but it doesn't matter. We have so many other things that we can charge the average human for. And for this to take off, it would eliminate the need for us to pay. And this is still a largely inefficient method. You what, Mike?
I think we're way beyond the need to pay. They still charge.
Yeah. Yes.
I think we are way beyond the need.
Yes, definitely.
It's the same as like we need to produce energy for an overpopulated planet Earth, that isn't overpopulated at all.
I think we lost Brittany again.
She'll be back.
She might have some internet problems. But yeah.
So, what does this
And we lost Liam.
Oh, it's not looking good.
We'll never get this done.
just get on with it, and Andreas will make something out of this. He did it the last time, and we were fucking about all the way.
He did though, didn't he?
We're sorry, Andreas.
We're very sorry.
In the old story, Archimedes had a bunch of soldiers, like a lot of soldiers, focus mirror shields at boats. And in this 1914 movie, they showed how Archimedes made a mirror of a bunch of these shiny objects, which can be done. You can actually find this on YouTube, where a gentleman places small square mirrors all over a little satellite dish and burns metal. He actually melts metal from maybe 4 feet away. He melts metal. He boils rock. He actually creates obsidian. And so what does this remind you of? Well, that looks like Count Olaf's fire device in a series of unfortunate events. It's the same thing. How did all those mansions burn down? We never consider that we're looking at
fire,
Tartarian destruction. We're looking at Tartarian destruction in the movie, a series of unfortunate events.
That's a really good point. We don't need...
The Baudelaire children lost their brick mansion in a fire? How did all that brick go away if it was just a fire? Well, Count Olaf had a device that could boil stone.
Fuck.
Not only that, but what is the secret club in a series of unfortunate events? It's a group of adventurers who, for their mascot trinket, their talisman of the club is a spyglass. Just a short telescope. So we see this technology here. And we also see it in something called a Fresnel lens. Have you guys seen these before?
Yep. Lighthouse. Lighthouse lens.
These are the properties. Someone puts a light in the center, and these prisms refract it in one direction. If you were to change the angle of refraction, you could create a laser out of a fire lamp. And this explains Martin's video where he says, "What's that? It looks like a laser from the Starfort burning the ship. Is that EM tech?" I don't think so. I think it's just light.
It's lighthouse.
Lighthouse lasers.
Yep.
Not to say that EM tech didn't exist, but I'm trying to go farther back in time. And if you can use 1,000 stones, crystals, if you can use 1,000 mirrors, or if you can just contort light, as in a Fresnel lens, you could have created Lion's Rock in Sigiriya, which is where we were at with the Sri Lankan tank that they had.
That's it.
It's amazing to watch these guys use these lenses to burn stone and everything else. You can weld with this. The only thing is you have to track the sun. So I had been looking at different types of corrugation, different mediums through which the light could pass in order to focus. And do you remember the mirrors in Egyptian structures? And they thought they were to light the halls and the corridors?
Yeah.
They may have actually been to focus light for other purposes.
Focus light and redirect it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not just for illumination, for energy use.
Yeah, because you can transfer information with light. Light is information, right? So you can transfer it as you can. They have developed geneticists have developed lasers to transfer DNA.
Yes.
So basically, light. Yeah, you can transfer information from one source to another with light. So communication can be done by light. Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, just an addendum, Nathan. Carry on.
What is that city that they've built? Was it Crimea or something else? It's been built and no one lives in it yet.
Astana?
Yeah, Astana. In Kazakhstan.
Astana.
Look at this.
Could that be a sun tower or a constellation for a future sun tower?
Look at the corrugated tower in the center. It's built like a Fresnel lens. It is built directly to illuminate the surrounding buildings. And while it may collect the sun, that's unmistakably similar.
Yeah. Unmistakably similar.
How do you spell Astana? With an E or an I?
Astana. Yes. It's just the craziest city. And you have the two pillars. You have Boas and Jackin, the two golden towers there. That's Boas and Jackin, basically. And in the top ball tower you saw there is apparently what somebody called a reset button. So the idea is that you push the button and the world engages in, total self-destruction from the push of one single button. That's the idea. It's a bit ridiculous. Just a bit. But that's the idea put forward. Yeah, it's laughable. But yeah, there's a button and it can be pushed and it probably does something, or maybe it's just like a show. I don't know. But yeah.
So while it's been some days since we last got together, there's so much to go through to be certain of any of this that I'm actually not ready. The idea is not complete yet. There's too much to dig through. If we were on the 2-week schedule that we had been on before, maybe, but this is what I have so far. I've shifted my focus away from just sound, just the corrugated horns, to remembering that you can fashion just about anything if you understand light.
Yeah, I just wrote an article about a new 3D printer technology whereby you print or you transfer the information of the structure or the form by light. So you light up a resin or an acrylate by light.
Okay.
And by that, a model of something, and then afterwards you somehow get the remaining residue to become solid.
Yes.
And then you have it 3D printed from this acrylate. It's very interesting. You can get very smooth surfaces from it. It's actually superior to the normal additive manufacturing process. So yeah, it's very interesting. It's I think the 3D printer world is still moving kind of slow when it comes to technological updates, but it's getting very spread worldwide to use additive manufacturing and everything right now. So when we have the new light-based printer technologies, we will implicitly understand that light can transfer information into mediums and masses and stuff. It's crazy.
Light can also cause things to behave in a certain way. It, through excitation of the medium it passes through, can force a specific organization of the molecules therein. So that's
Martin Liedtke shows that all in his recent videos. He has this light stick and he lights his water with it. So it's actually the same thing as sound would be able to do. So it's very interesting. And in our biology, they talk, or at least in the very underground study of biology, they talk about biophotons.
Mm-hmm.
And they can activate biophotons by playing certain frequencies. And those biophotons emit light. And they spin, and they seem to be, you know, activating the DNA. Very interesting. I haven't looked too much into it. It was it was part of like some of my early studies, or like truth seeking or whatever. So yeah, I might want to go back and look at all that. But definitely
always worth a revisit.
Yeah, revision.
That's where I had found how they had used sound to print metal. It's called acoustophoresis.
Oh, wow! And print metal by sound.
So you can change the viscosity of something by liquefying it. Sound makes liquefaction.
Yes, we know that.
So they had applied this principle to steel and other blends of metals to make it viscous enough that it would come out of a printer needle.
Wow.
And so they can now print metal into clothing, onto fabrics, onto books, and onto other surfaces.
Yeah.
You may actually not know how much in your daily life has metal printed onto it or into it using this technique. And I mean heavy metals.
Yeah, because all the industry information is still esoteric in the way that only those who are interested in it will get the information. But like all our industries are like way ahead and using like technologies that are tangent to many of the things we're talking about.
Yeah.
And they understand it implicitly. It's they just use it. A lot of their businesses are dependent upon certain principles that we're discussing. So yeah, it'd be cool to see some corporate heads sometimes stick their head out and try to rally the scientific community sometimes, but they don't, because in the corporate structure, it's not prudent when you want to make money.
Let's make money.
Here is one where they burn patterns onto denim using light.
Oh yeah.
And this is something you can find videos of this everywhere. But
it's not lasers, it's like just light. It's not concentrated to the point of being a laser.
Regular light. Regular light, just for want, and regular light shines all willy-nilly in every direction.
Yes.
So when you grab a bunch of guys with their shields and you focus that into a single Death Star beam, you have a laser. That's it.
Yeah. But is this a laser burning, or is it more like
it's laser burning.
Okay. So yeah, we understand this.
Yeah. And we don't realize, we think all of this technology is brand new. But this technology isn't brand new. This technology is in your cheap Chinese pants. This technology is in your... That's so funny. This technology is in your 3D printed laser tag, in your books. When you go to a bookstore or anything, and they have those flat printed alarms on books. They print those. They don't stamp them out of metal and put them on a sticker. We're doing it in computers too.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Where is it? Here we are.
That on a
So yeah, that's where I am right now with the light. There's a secondary bit that I'm on to, and it's the lodestone.
Oh yeah.
Lodestones used to be used. Where are we? I'm sorry, I have so many windows. Thanks for helping, Andreas.
You can hear him in the background, can't you?
In the back of your mind, yeah.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
Here, I'd been looking at lodestones and what are the older lodestones and what are the strongest lodestones. Well, I found magnetic exploration of the Olmec civilization. They used to think that China had the oldest known lodestones, natural permanent magnets. And then they used magnetic imaging to find Olmec artifacts because so much of Olmec construction and jewelry and design has highly magnetized iron and magnetite.
Olmec O becomes a 0.
Yes.
Yeah, and the L could be interpreted as a 1.
As a 1. It's binary.
Yeah.
What
Actually,
would MEC be?
Do you know how many people type Olmec as O1 MEC? It's fairly common, and I never knew why. That's funny.
Also, consider the Oi. The Oi, the O and the I, and the Alpha and the Omega.
Oimec.
Oimec. Oi, 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 as the whales say. And
Yeah.
it also means something in Hebrew, I think. What does it mean? Cool.
Identical.
Ah.
0, 1.
Mech.
So here, they used magnetic resonance. They used magnetometers to find stones. A lot of what the Olmec built was magnetized. And they found the oldest permanent magnet anyone's ever found, and it's a bar magnet. On the right here, you see where there is a magnetic spike, and they chose to dig in the topography here. And they found all of these artifacts. But do you know what else they found? They found polished mirrors of metal. And those mirrors, when I looked at them, they found this as well.
Wow.
We had thought that the Chinese were the first to do it.
They were pretty clever.
This picture, this is an image of the Olmec bar. And it still possesses strong magnetism.
Wow. I wonder where they got that lodestone from. Was it naturally occurring? Lodestones, as we hear about the central mountain of the North Pole being called the Rupes Negra, or the Black Stone, was described as a magnetic mountain. Could that stone be the original source for all the magnetic lodestones?
That's an interesting idea.
So they went to the Hyperboreans, who probably mined it and sold it. I don't know.
Oh no, you're cutting out.
Me?
Oh, it's better now.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I just said that. Yeah, it might be that they communicated with the Hyperboreans about, who probably mined it for them. I don't know. Could be.
That's an interesting idea. People seem to think that it's a high plasma activity, essentially very, very strong lightning bolts striking magnetite or iron and causing a change, permanently aligning the atomic structure of whatever it hits. It's better now. So how does it become what?
How does it become black, the lodestone?
It all depends on the type of rock and what is inside of it. Basically, is it an amalgam of hematite and magnetite? There are many, many different kinds of lodestone, by the way. Let's see if I can find the book. The book is one that was handed to me. The new attraction. This talks about different types of lodestones. Did I mention white calamite to you guys?
No.
Here.
Oh wait, Caldanite.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we talked about that before because it's found in large quantities in the little island of Bornholm that belongs to Denmark.
Yes, and that was the that small Starfort on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Calamita Blanca is famous because they outlawed it in that place because witches were using it to stop conception. They were using it as birth control.
Huh. How?
And it says it here. I've highlighted it. And the white is forbidden to be used in that country because evil women there do apply it.
We might have a screen freeze. We might have a screen freeze.
Hold on. Evil women apply it to destroy conception, whereof this stone is a great enemy.
Wow.
Now, in this book, he goes over the different types of the lodestone and the attributes. He mentions a lodestone that I cannot find, and it's lodestones that are created in the water at sea. He says that they are the strongest, and I can find no reference to it anywhere. I want to, because that would be quite a find.
Would that mean that we could go out and dive for them? Would they still be around?
I don't even know. Honestly, we still do find slightly magnetized rocks. And there are still places where you can go and pick them up and they have a slight magnetic charge, but nothing like that. Because these things do fade. A virgin magnet will remain strongest, but a part of its charge is pieced off for everything that it touches. And so over time, it only makes sense that it would fade. But mysteriously, he references the strongest lodestone in the world, and it's one found at sea, created in the water. If you guys ever come across any water magnets or anything at sea like that, let me know.
We will.
So yeah, that's
basically it.
That's what I'm doing.
That's
Do you have anything? Should we see Lin's water towers?
Yes, sir.
Heck yes.
I'd like to see Lin's water towers as long as his connection is good.
Okay.
Here we go.
Okay. My bad.
Your screen was just an anime face for a second.
Okay. Okay. How
now,
about
now we see it. Wow.
Okay.
Very nice.
Yeah. So this one is a water tower, but I don't know where is this water tower. just for an example. It's quite the 19th century, right?
Oh yeah, they always say everything was built in the 19th century, guys. Just get used to it.
Yeah. Everything is built in the 19th century. And it's very, it's like it's red brick. It's quite classic. And then we can. Oh, I just want to show you other related stuff. Like I just saw which one?
The red brick?
No, oh, this one.
You want to show
Tidal
some red brick?
power. Yeah. This one. Can you see this one?
Oh yeah. Oh.
Tidal power station.
Oh, weird how to have this structure on this bridge. And can you zoom in? Are they children, or are we looking at giants again? Sorry.
Let's take a look.
So I was just reminded. Funny how the universe works.
It's another
regarding these towers.
So let's hear about it.
Do you guys know the video "Cloud Busting" by Kate Bush?
No.
Okay.
Well, it's a video on Wilhelm Reich, basically.
Oh yeah. Then I know.
They have an orgone cannon in that actually collects clouds and then releases them. What if these things were in either the water towers or on the water towers or in the ground forts that sit at the coast?
Yeah. Why would you have them there? What do you think?
No, I don't think anything. I was just reminded of this, and since Lean was talking to water towers, but do please get back to them.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Just a thought. Sorry.
So this is quite advanced, right? It's a tidal wave generator. There's nothing new in.
Oh yeah.
It's nothing new in modern day.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nothing new in ancient time in the
there's nothing new
Tartar
under the
culture.
sun.
Yeah, that's new. Yeah, so it's I don't know where again. I don't know where is this structure located, but appearing is a working. This is indeed a real building because it's so detailed in its mechanism, right? You can see it's detail. You can see it's detail like a very how can I describe?
It's
power.
very
Tidal power. Yes.
tidal power. Yeah.
What kind of electricity device or machine?
For creating tidal power, but for what? An electric generator, wouldn't you? So, Nathan.
Down below, you can read it. The use of tidal power being used to raise seawater into a water tower from where it was drawn to sprinkle on the roads.
Oh yeah.
To make like
So basically, they chained this giant raft, or basically piece of floor, underneath the dock, and the wave would push it, and that would drag it along the chain track and function as a manual pump. So instead of men having to pump, they just automated it by using the tides in the water.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. Easy and
Clever.
that is clever, and what we should be doing as a community of human beings right now.
Free energy.
Wow, yeah.
So all of these new things like tidal power, solar power, wind power, they're ancient.
Quote unquote new things, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, quote unquote, indeed.
All we did was make them smaller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all we did was, and all it did, all they had to do to convince you is to create like this Iron Man figure of Tesla, of Elon Musk. Then you can think that everything that is ancient is new.
And you can think that only geniuses create, and creation is beyond you.
Yeah, also that. And when you really get into what Elon Musk claims to know about certain things, he's just an actor. He knows nothing, it seems. Just reading off a script.
No, he's a Steve Jobs.
Yeah, they know something, as like they have a basic knowledge, but they don't have specialized knowledge. I highly doubt that.
No, he's an idea person who knows just enough to help his. Oh my gosh, that's me. Never mind.
But yeah, I agree with you, Nathan. He's just a stooge.
He's just a face. Yeah. That is quite.
Yeah, that is Musho.
Solar tower.
That is the parabolic mirror of Musho.
Yeah,
I remember reading about this.
That's a solar tower.
That CSP is still used today. I wrote recently an article about like a Danish company using these CSP parabolic mirrors, and they have like time. They are synced in with the sun and how it moves across the sky. So a computer controls them, so they harness the most sun power. But it's funny, this solar machine in the 1860s won the Science World Fair Cup 2 times in a row, I think, or maybe just once. And the French guy was in the line of being like a very successful and accomplished technological inventor. And he was basically buried, and he was just lost to history basically for a moment, I think. And his machine was reportedly able to make water into ice within minutes by using this solar technology. So that's pretty crazy.
Quite the reverse of what we'd expect.
Yeah.
Wow. That's funny. He's just using the Archimedes shield.
It is. It's just a concentration. And I find that is the principle, that's the technological principle that Saturn embodies, because he's the contractor. He contracts. So he forces things to converge. He collects, he gathers. And that's the principle you see here. That is the amplification by gathering or collecting or focusing, right? So I think that is the principle of Saturn in technology, and that's why I think the fasces is basically a Saturnian principle used to dominate.
Exactly. There's a gentleman who actually mentions the fasces while he's talking about magnets and light and sound and the 4 modalities of energy. And he said they're all the same thing, and we're slowly realizing that. Well, you add the Saturn concept to it, but he says the same things.
Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, mainstream physics teaches that there are 9 types of energy or forms, or I'm not quite sure the lingo, but 9 energy types, you know, kinetic, potential, chemical energy, and so on and so forth, electrical, and so on and so forth. But so what are the 4 modalities of energy?
Electric, dielectric, magnetic, and gravitic.
Yes. So
And
that would that encapsulates all the 9.
yes. Now that's the funny thing. When you have is that the lotus of life? The
4-petaled.
A million circles within one giant circle. So yeah, to specialize, you can dive into a single modality and you can dig very deep, but you mustn't forget to zoom back out and remember that it is but a facet of the same whole.
Yeah.
And what you learn in one modality or in one small circle of research may actually be applied elsewhere if you just put your eyes into another sphere of learning.
Yeah, agreed. And so Lynn, do you have more water towers?
Yeah, sure. Let me back to water tower.
All the cool kids are using DuckDuckGo, by the way.
That's the very reason that. Yeah. Wow.
I just love them. I'm beginning to spot the old the red brick style a lot in these water towers. A lot of them in Denmark, actually, when you just pay attention.
That was the Netherlands.
Yeah,
yeah. I meant the Netherlands there.
And lots of them have, you know, regular copper antennas on top of them, and yeah. And possibly the dating for all these are just, you know, horseshit.
A bit off.
Oh, sorry, I swore. Oh, damn it. And then I did it again.
Yeah, it's so many different kind of water tower. And
No, some are square and some are round. Some are suspended in the air. Some are connected to the ground. And some have this bottleneck thing going on with them. And as Martin points out in his very secret never told, you have that V shape, as you see in an amphitheater, is one of the best shapes to store water weight-wise. So for the structure to not collapse, you need a bottleneck or a V shape sometimes. It's a good shape for that. So the Romans or whoever figured that out and built lots of so-called theaters. But Martin thinks they were water towers, reservoirs, or maybe even hydro plants somehow.
Do you know what an amphitheater is?
Well, I believe I just gave you an explanation.
And there's a corrugated horn structure pointed at the sky.
Yeah, that it is.
It means that you can speak with a whisper from the center and bottom, and they can hear you at the top, but also it slows sound. Sound breaks up as it comes from the top and into it. So you've officially created silence at the bottom of this amphitheater.
Wow.
It's an amazing structure to look at from the perspective of sound.
But it just seems so, yeah, Martin, he finds a lot of them were connected to aqueducts. So you could fill them up with water, and you could empty them again, I think, and they would have naval battles within the arenas, or maybe they just did store water just as they do today, and use it somehow for other purposes. But yeah,
I remember seeing that with the Colosseum, and it's so upsetting that there are so many ideas for the Colosseum, but we can't nail one single one down. And I think it's because it's been there for so long, it's had a million purposes.
Yeah, you might be right.
It's not just for one thing either. If something has the same shape, it could still be for 100 different applications.
Yeah. It's just, have you seen that? I think I saw it on UAP channel that Neil deGrasse Tyson, he has this thing about water towers. He mentions quickly in an interview, "Don't get me started on water towers." Very interesting.
Oh yeah, I have my own idea about him saying that, because the storage of water has been a large social infrastructure issue. Pretty much for all time. You can track any disease to the availability of clean water.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess it's a huge subject, but I cannot help thinking that he's alluding to something bigger. But yeah, I'll let you be the judge. Oh, sorry, Len.
I want to point out the date. It's always 1912, always around the 1912. This, the Finnish years always around 19.
It's just funny that after the First World War, that people would just, okay, now we just need to go out and build a lot of water towers, or maybe even during the First World War. Guys, let's just build water towers.
Also, let's build a water tower.
Keep in mind, these aren't just water towers. A lot of these that you see are also panopticons. A lot of these that you see are actually furnace towers.
Yeah, they could as well be like big chimneys or electric towers.
The smokestacks of industry were often central to buildings. Let's see.
And they remind me also a lot about the water crypts.
Ah, yes.
The water crypts look exactly like them if you just put them in water, and yeah, there you go. But they are cool.
Mine's in Everton, England. This water tower is in
this structure. This structure I have seen being built as a part of an electrical plant, having the same type of architecture, and then you would have like this metal fence on top of it, following the round curve. So yeah, it's just the same shape I see when I look at some electric plants from the early 1900s and late 19th century. They look like these sometimes. And it's always this red brick style that has these rounded shapes, few ornamentations on it, and copper, and it has this industrial kind of feel to it, yet still retaining that Greco-Romano style. And that, I think, is the Tartar style. That is like the missing architectural style, I think, that binds everything together. And it is found all over Denmark, France, Holland, Sweden, Norway, like basically whole of Europe. You find that red brick style a lot. And then, of course, also a lot in the US and in Asia. And yeah, it's basically everywhere. But I think that's the style that binds us together the most to the more recent Tartar Empire. And it's just my we have no proof of this, but the style in which, for instance, the Great Wall of Tartaria was built in seems to be very similar. And so many deduce that we have, you know, sources in books saying that the Tartars were expert brick makers. So go figure. And I think the lack of ornamentation is a touch of theirs as well. They didn't ornament. They didn't do the idol worship, because I've read in John Struys that idol worship was introduced to them in order to subvert them, or so it seems. So they divided a lot of the Tartar nation on the question of idol worshipping, and astrologically that would be between the age of Aries and the age of Pisces, and all this idol things coming in is basically the water world or the lunar pillar emerging, pun intended, out of the water. And I think that was one of the issues that divided the Asian empire of Tartaria. This new lunar pillar, new lunar astrology coming out, and the new way of life, the new more commercial, dependent upon corporate structure life that enticed some of the Tartars. I've read other books talking about that in the later 19th century, when we are still having Tartar on the map, some Tartars had become very wealthy businessmen. Some of them were very successful at this. So I guess we had this in the early 20th century. There were still some Tartar businessmen running around, having old money, having learned from Europe how to do business, and some of them were very powerful because perhaps they paired the old world technology and their know-how with the new way of doing commerce, and maybe they got perhaps sometimes they even were better at that than the Europeans. And so maybe I think those are the dynamics we have to look for as we go and see how the Tartarian Empire disintegrated. It got divided by ideas, by certain new cultural concepts, the new way of life, basically. And it's basically the fire, the battle of fire and ice, as we see in the Game of Thrones. And we have the fires, the fire representatives. The fire side is the Targaryens, of course. And they lost. We start in the Game of Thrones as a setting where the Targaryens have been not forgotten, but defeated. And we are in a water-based Game of Thrones takeover. And that's why we have the return of the dragons and the fire. So the battle's on, and the fire and ice can do war one last time. So it's very prophetic as to what is happening in history, because it is just as like the changeover of an age, as we are experiencing right now. Oh, sorry for my ramblings.
No, that's okay.
Yeah,
it's
wonderful.
good.
I'm also just like mesmerized by all these water towers. Just look at how many.
Yeah, I think we need to take a deeper look into the water tower and the Tartarian water technologies. So
Indeed.
I'm just going to say that
water technology.
looking for them.
When you search for, let's say, hydraulic architecture on Gallica, loads of books come up. Loads. and lots of it is about Starforts.
Yeah, I just said I'm not going to be the one looking for your water towers.
I
love it.
Okay.
I love it all, but I'm not going to find them for you. Go ahead,
No.
download Google Earth and be my guest.
Yeah, there will be plenty of
I'm working off as it is.
yeah, that will be too much for you.
I did.
Right.
I did an update for my master file the 27th of March, and already I've added 60 pins to the map.
Wow. Awesome, dude.
I got enough work as it is.
Do you still go through the Foundry pictures I posted, or have you been through them now?
No, I haven't finished them yet. I think I saved about 500 of them because they all come with a location.
Oh yeah, I get ya. Not all of them are with locations, and yeah.
They're definitely interesting to browse through, but if I start saving it all, the point of saving it on the Foundry comes a bit irrelevant.
Yeah, I get that.
But going through this stuff is, it's fascinating, and so many of them just show up because of an old map, like the one you showed earlier in the episode in Germany.
Yeah, the what was it called? Kern.
Yeah.
Kern. Yeah.
I didn't have that marked.
Oh yeah, okay.
Now I have to go and look for a citadel as well because I can't see it. I got the fort on the hill, but I can't see the citadel yet. So I have to go over that. So that's 2 more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want you to check out the Victorian pumping station because it's so beautiful. I am looking to this pumping station before, but it's before I hear about Tartarian Empire. So I believe this kind of a Victorian pumping station or technology is very important.
So it was made to get rid of the stench in London, is what I get. Quickly overlooking this.
Sorry?
It was made to get rid of the smells in the horrible smells in London.
Yeah, that's the big stink.
Oh,
Yeah.
you mean this picture? Built in 1865.
The sewage system.
65.
Those bumps are huge. Look at them in the background of that picture below.
Yeah, this one, right?
Yeah, those bumps in the background. Massive.
You can check out the video on YouTube. It will show you the this pumping station, this mechanical, this machine. They are still workable. They are still.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, they are still. You can put them into working.
How are you for time?
Excuse me?
How are you for time?
Well, Philip hasn't contacted me yet, so I'm good.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's I wanted to make sure.
I actually have to go in a second, but if you guys would like to see what I found recently, just for a bit of scope.
Some enticement for next week.
Yeah.
or 2 weeks, whatever you.
I'm sharing.
Yeah.
Do you see this?
No, I have to share your screen
Sorry.
first, as in present to everyone. There we go. Nepal.
Nepal. Do you see
Oh.
those walls? Do you see those brickworks?
Are they
Yes.
using what? What is happening here?
They are born and raised in Nepal, where their job is to make bricks. Entire families.
Mhm.
Tons of them. And now when you get a sense of the scope of creation, sometimes it's easy to think that it's impossible. And yet, look at these walls and fortifications.
Mhm.
This is just people making bricks for round about $7 American a day, which you don't need that much to live there. But look at this.
Wow.
If we were to walk into this, we would think it's some grand feat of man. Really? This is a factory.
Yeah.
This,
That is what happens when a little bit of knowledge and a lot of manpower and a lot of time.
exactly. And now this is this area's prime export. They use it in everything. They know how to stack it. They're not even concerned with it being pretty. And yet look at how fine these walls are.
It
This
just
is
kind of
with
maybe
very little
fix itself. Well, they seem to be using some kind of stacking principle. If you look, whoa,
Yes,
look at
they
that
do.
swastika.
Yes, a universal sign. But it's a part of the
Whoa.
brick mold. So as you get older, you haul the bricks. The grown men put the bricks in the furnace, cook them. But it's the children that actually slap these clay squares into the molds and then leave the bricks out to dry.
You know, Philip and Richard, they have an episode discussing that, you know, a lot of people were asking, so if a mud flood happened, how did people get away with all the mud? That must have been like so much mud to excavate. And then Philip was like, no, you wouldn't need to move it necessarily. You could just use the mud to make bricks on site.
Exactly.
That's
And
exactly
this,
what we showed in the beginning of the episode, right? The Starfort being dug out.
yes. Now that's why things that were not made on site are so remarkable. So whenever you see that something was hauled in and you see that the quarry is 3,000 miles away, that's worth taking note of. Because to make bricks on site, all that is required is the furnace and the manpower there.
Yeah. And these furnaces seem like a lot. Do you remember when we were looking at Dresden and all these furnaces?
Yes.
Yeah.
Look at this brutalist furnace in the background of this.
So maybe they would just imagine all those industrial looking like buildings that have these furnaces. Maybe they all could create bricks.
Yes.
So maybe they weren't thinking as us. They didn't use giant factories to support a whole country. No. They had a lot of small factories everywhere.
Yes, centralization is a fairly new idea.
Well, centralization of power, yes, but I think centralization of spiritualism and
industry.
Oh yeah. Also, yeah, that was also what I meant in power, actually. Yeah, so power has also this bridge to political power, of course. It's interesting. We say we get, you know, voted in, and we put somebody in charge. And voted is kind of like bolted. We go and put our votes, our bolts, into the guy we want to see be in charge of the polarizing, the political, think electric, the polls. and we do the polls to see who we're going to elect. It's all the electricity in the city. So yeah, it was just funny how the bridge between the concepts of political power and electrical power is just, yeah, it's a beautiful analogy.
Yeah.
You're getting back into the bricks then, Nathan.
I think I am. It's important to discern what is impossible from what we don't understand, because we're not used to labor of this scale. I mean, we're fairly privileged in that we don't do this. But how much happier would we be if we did? These are mica mines.
It doesn't seem healthy.
Oh no, it isn't. They talk in these articles about respiratory issues in children, but at the same time, this is what happens, and they have, as you can see, many tools at their disposal now. But when we look at old structures like the water towers, many are brick furnaces. So discount the furnaces and look specifically for those water towers.
Yeah.
When we look at brick structure, don't look at just what is made of brick and assume it's Tartarian or anything else. Look at it and see if it was impossible. This will require a general knowledge of how things are made, and it can only benefit you to learn. You'll be able to discern faster what is remarkable and what we're really searching for, which is what used to be that was hidden.
Yeah. On that note, should we end?
I think that's a good time. Yeah,
that's a good one.
That's a good note to end on.
All right, guys.
Very interesting, Nathan. Very interesting.
Catch you next week.
Yeah, good talking to you guys.
If you're interested in trying out the Foundry, just visit tartarynova.com and click on the live chat in the top right. In the Discord, you can ask either Xirtus or one of the Remembrancers or Clerifix.
The support of the Patreon has really made a difference and provided a model to produce free speech without censorship. I want to thank you guys again for your support. Those of you who don't know that you're being stalked and watched and listened to through your computer and every website you visit is being monitored, it is, and the best thing you can do to protect your family's security and yourself is to use a proxy network. And so far the best proxy network that I've found is NordVPN. It has 24-hour support, it's super zippy, it's screaming fast, it allows you to access internet as if you're in other places in case you have blocked region, in case you're experiencing blocked videos, and it's super cheap at $2.99 a month. And the cool thing is if you use my affiliate link, you get a 75% discount and then I get a referral. It's a great deal for both of us because we both get something we really need. I want to thank you guys again for your support.